The Marvel Cinematic Universe has quite a few movies that are amazing from start to finish due to a few elements. While the multiverse saga has had its fair share of criticized projects, some of the best movies in the MCU have come during this phase of the franchise. These add up with many films from the Infinity Saga as the MCU entries that are amazing from start to finish, which means a high level is kept throughout. That could happen in many ways. The project's stories have to be strong, the action scenes need to be huge and/or creative. The characters can't be one-dimensional, and so it goes. There are quite a few MCU entries that I love that drag at times or simply do not keep a high level throughout, with Avengers, Endgame being one such project. That said, Marvel's upcoming movies can learn a few lessons from the entries that kept firing on all cylinders. Spider-Man: No Way Home released in 2021. MCU's multiverse saga, Spider-Man: No Way Home is my favorite live-action Spider-Man film. It knew exactly what it wanted to do, telling the story of what happens to Peter Parker once the world learns he is Spider-Man. The film starts at a breakneck pace as events spin out of that reveal, with memorable moments like Charlie Cox's cameo as Matt Murdock. Then, it slows down a bit as multiversal characters come in, including villains from the past Spider-Man movie franchises, and even Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. The MCU movie has it all. There are emotional moments, a shocking death, plenty of chemistry between heroes, action beats, and more. Spider-Man: No Way Home also fundamentally changes the MCU's Peter Parker. Released in 2008, MCU's Infinity Saga, 2008's Iron Man, built what would come to be known up to this day as the Marvel formula. Robert Downey Jr. His magnetic performance as Tony Stark breathed new life into the superhero genre, and he kept the dial turned to 11 throughout the whole film. It is easily one of the best MCU performances by an actor. Iron Man had it all. The CGI was never better for Iron Man's armors. The villain was fitting. The action scenes were explosive. The characters were charming, and the world-building was beautifully executed. I could not get enough of the MCU and Tony Stark. Thankfully, there was plenty more after. Captain America: The Winter Soldier released in 2014, MCU's Infinity Saga. Captain America: The Winter Soldier was so good that Marvel Studios has tried to replicate its more serious tone multiple times over the years. Still, no project has been quite on the level of Chris Evans's second solo film. It is easily one of the MCU's most rewatchable movies, as every moment fits perfectly. Captain America taking down Hydra after it infiltrated S.H.I.E.L.D. made for a story that changed the MCU for good, with supporting players like Black Widow and Nick Fury, as well as Sebastian Stan's Bucky Barnes returning. The Marvel movie packed a thrilling political story with plenty of emotional moments and breathtaking action. Captain America: Civil War released in 2016, MCU's Infinity Saga. The third Captain America movie was essentially an Avengers film with Chris Evans's Steve Rogers as its main character. As expected, it worked perfectly. The film had one of the most exciting stories in the MCU, with Captain America and Iron Man put on different sides of an ethical dilemma that tore the MCU's heroes apart. Captain America: Civil War is full of plot twists that keep the audience and the characters guessing until the very end. Debuts of Black Panther and Spider-Man, as well as heroes fighting one another, it is a unique entry in the franchise. Its third act is incredibly emotional and personal. Deadpool and Wolverine released in 2024, MCU's Multiverse Saga. 2024 had a single MCU movie, Deadpool and Wolverine. That said, I believe it is easily one of the franchise's most thrilling entries. There is simply not a dull moment in the Deadpool movie, as is the nature of Ryan Reynolds' Marvel franchise. There are not many slow moments in the film, as Wade Wilson's humor cuts through them. With a multiverse-heavy story that features the return of many Marvel movie stars, Deadpool and Wolverine is a film made to surprise audiences and provide crowd-pleasing moments. Still, it has some surprising emotional cornerstones that ground all the fun and bloody action with a strong emotional core, making the whole thing work. 5 Guardians of the Galaxy released in 2014, MCU's Infinity Saga. James Gunn is easily one of the MCU's best directors. Guardians of the Galaxy proved that obscure characters could become household names in the MCU. The film has different phases, like setting up Star-Lord, the team breaking out, the characters becoming a family, and more. Everything feels perfectly at the right pace. The Guardians of the Galaxy movies know how to balance emotional moments and the usual MCU jokes effectively. The franchise's first film showed that in spades, with the humor augmenting pretty much every moment it was employed in. This non-stop thrill ride made the obscure Marvel team a fan favorite by the time it was over. 4 Guardians of the Galaxy Vol. 3 released in 2023. MCU's multiverse saga Guardians of the Galaxy Vol. 3 is the culmination of the team's MCU journey. It is easily one of the best and most emotional movies in the franchise. The Guardians truly feel like a family in this one, and so they go on a final adventure together to save one of their own. Rocket Raccoon's backstory is utterly tragic, and the High Evolutionary is one of the most frightening MCU villains. The film plays to the franchise's hits, with every moment building on the flare gun brings to the Guardians, as well as the cast's chemistry. There are plenty of laughs and tears to be had throughout. Thor Ragnarok released in 2017. MCU's Infinity Saga, Chris Hemsworth's Thor franchise, peaked with the finale of the actor's first trilogy as the God of Thunder. Thor Ragnarok reflects director Taika Waititi at his best. The film moves at a fast pace, the visuals are zany and vibrant, the characters are charismatic, the villain, Hela, is quite powerful, and more. It really is just the most fun I have had with Thor in the MCU. Seeing Thor and the Hulk bond in outer space is exciting. Tom Hiddleston's Loki also finally finds peace with his brother, and they are a solid unit together. The movie is hilarious, gripping, action-packed, and presents Thor at his best. 2. The Avengers released in 2012. MCU's changed the game for superhero movies. This is the film that showed just how much a cinematic universe can work. I remember being shocked at how these heroes worked together, and wanting to see more of that. It served as the door to the MCU for many fans. Loki and the Thanos connection added a major threat to Earth for the Avengers' first movie. There are several thrilling moments as Earth's mightiest heroes come together for the first time. Many classic MCU relationships and events would have their seeds planted in this action-packed film that created one of the best teams in theatrical history. 1. Avengers Infinity War released in 2018. MCU's Infinity Saga. Finally, if there is one MCU movie that most fans will agree is amazing from start to finish, it is Avengers Infinity War. I would say it is the most action-packed film in the MCU, as the Avengers and other heroes band together to stop Thanos from collecting all the Infinity Stones. Seeing many unexpected hero pairings is what makes the MCU as successful as it is. With an incredibly well-written villain in Thanos and one of the most shocking endings in history, Avengers Infinity War keeps a high level throughout. As such, it is a simply perfect MCU movie from start to finish.